Walking down these empty streets, echoes of the past I meet. Lost and wandering for so long, searching for where I belong. Sunrise breaking through the night, guiding me back to the light. Every step feels like a prayer, promises hang in the air. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease. Memories of laughter and tears, answers to my deepest fears. In these walls I find my truth, washing away the years. Ruth, oh, the road was long and rough, but my spirit's had enough. Here in the sanctuary, healing feels extraordinary. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease. Long and rough, but my spirit's had enough. Here in the sanctuary, healing feels extraordinary. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease. Walking down these empty streets, echoes of the past I meet. Lost and wandering for so long, searching for where I belong.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning, ladies. Let me make sure that you all can hear me. Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry that I missed yesterday. I was supposed to be with you live yesterday. A lot happened yesterday. I wasn't able to get on live, but I am so glad to be on with you today. Let's get into it. I want to talk about love over compatibility. I'm gonna make this statement from the very beginning. I believe, let me say this, I believe that you should seek compatibility before love. Love is not enough. Love, sisters, love is just not enough. You will never be able to get where you gotta go. I got y'all on the wrong thing. You will never be able to get where you gotta go with just love. And I think some of you know that. I want you to jump in the comments. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button. If you're on Facebook, go over to YouTube, hit the like button, ladies. But let's talk about this a little bit today. And before I start, tomorrow, I'm going on live 6 a.m. with the men and women. Some of you know, some of you don't know. I do a Dear Sister podcast. I also do a Dear Brother podcast. And so tomorrow I'm streaming live from both streams of Dear Brother and Dear Sister podcast. And tomorrow I'm going to spend as much time as I need to hear the hearts of women about this election. A lot of women have been broken, hurt, very disappointed about what's been going on. You're broken. Some of you are married and you can't talk about it with your spouse. You're talking about it amongst your sisters and your girlfriends, and I get it. I think that men, me, your brother, I want to hear your heart. I want to hear how you feel. I want to hear your disappointment. I want to hear your whatever you have. I'm going to spend hours tomorrow. It doesn't matter how much time it takes. I've just seen so many women hurt over the last few days. and can't express it. My lady was outside the other day just thinking through it. She was really bothered by it, and just one of the neighbors walked by and just asked for a hug, right? Because this is the pain that women are facing about this situation. And I want to be a man that wants to hear it. And it's not just me. I think other men want to hear your pain too. This is a big moment in history. It's a big moment to you all. And tomorrow morning, I'll be on 6 a.m. Walking it through with the ladies, hearing you out, responding from a man's perspective, right? Talking to you about how some men feel, right? Some of you don't know how men feel about the election and things like that. And now that it's over, people just stop talking about it. But it doesn't mean your feelings around it are gone. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to spend however much time it takes to talk with you and sit with you all early in the morning to hear your hearts. All right. Let me look in the chat and see who's all in the building. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I want to talk to y'all about compatibility over love. Now, jump in the chat. What do y'all think about that? Do you think that love is enough to keep a relationship? Ladies, talk to me. Do you feel like love is enough to keep a relationship? Remember the question. I'm not asking you whether love is enough to keep a man happy. This is why the Dear Sister podcast is the Dear Sister podcast. I'm asking you all, is love enough to keep a relationship? In my opinion, it is not. Right? But let's talk about it. And here's a throw out. I personally believe that Adam and Eve were not in love, because I believe that love is built on the foundation of compatibility. Because if you don't have compatibility, ladies, what are you building love on? It's like money. You can't just print money. Money has to be backed by something to be worth something, right? Otherwise, money will just have no value. It has to be backed by something. What is love backed by? My concern for you, my sisters, is that a lot of you built relationships on the feeling of love, not seeking compatibility at all. That's my fear. And I think that a lot of times it does not last, and you guys stay in relationships thinking that your love will be enough to change him, or your love will be enough to make this work. The danger of that, sister, is that you end up losing yourself, or you end up drained. You drain yourself because you're trying to build on something flimsy. Now, Christian, you calling love flimsy? Yes. Yes. I'm calling love flimsy. Why? Because love is fickle. It will feel, if the feeling of love is fickle. It will come, it will go, right? And I think a lot of you have built and spent years with men, 10 years, 15 years, on and off relationships, hoping at one point, I love him and love will cover us. Well, you got to have compatibility. Again, let's revisit Adam and Eve. They didn't know each other. They didn't, right? Right? They recognized what Adam recognized when he said bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. He wasn't saying I love her. He was saying she is the better part of me, right? And because she's the better part of me and she's here to help me do what God put in my heart. That's why the scripture talks about a woman being a helpmeet. What is she helping a man meet? She's helping him meet the destiny that's upon his life. But you can't get there, sisters, with the feeling of love, right? How many times you've been in love, right? You've been in love, but what's the basis? What's backing it? So let me get into it. Let me look in the chat and see who, oh goodness, y'all talking. Let me see. Okay, let me see. No, it's not love is blind. Yeah, right? The feeling of love. Let me see. No, it's not. The feeling of love is fleeting. It's conditional. Yes, it is. It comes and it goes. Let me see. I believe relationships are like a business. Okay, talk to me. Why you say that? Let me talk. That's a good point. That's a part of the compatibility point. Let me see. Love will have you overlook things you should see in or about a person. Absolutely. That's why compatibility is big. I think a lot of you just fall in love. Another thing, let me say this to you ladies, and I say this to the brothers on the Dear Brother podcast, and I'm going to say it to you. Stop falling in love. Stop falling in love. Christian, what are you talking about? You are insane. What you mean stop falling in love? Sis, stop falling in love. Walk into it. The reason why you are so broken is because you fall in love. You don't know how you got there, and you sure as hell don't know how to get out. You got to walk into love. You got to know what you're walking into. Don't keep on falling for the feeling of love. Let's look for the accountability. Let me read this last one, then I'll get into it. Tamika, Chantel, okay, Chantel, she's talking to Chantel, will make you overlook important things. Absolutely. You'll miss the whole boat because you're in love, right? I say it because everything builds from the point of relations. Absolutely. So let's get into it, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Let's get into it. Let's define compatibility. What is compatibility? Now, let me read it to you because I don't want to miss out on anything. Compatibility, right, is the alignment of values, vision, emotional understanding, lifestyle habits, and growth paths. No, okay. Oh, let's get into it, y'all. Compatibility. Let me read it again. Compatibility is values, vision, emotional understanding, lifestyle habits, and growth plans. Those 5 things define compatibility. Now, can you be in love with a person? Yes, you can, only to find out later on that they don't have values or you don't have shared values, right? That's the problem with love. You'll miss the whole point that a man doesn't share the values with you, right? What's the next thing? Vision. You'll fall in love and then find out a man has no vision for the relationship, but you've already fallen in love. So now you're trying to encourage a man to have vision. Ladies, let me tell you something. If a man didn't have a vision for you in his life, if you get with him, it won't make him start having a vision for you in his life. What's the vision? Why are you there? Because if there's no definition of why you're there, okay, then you'll just become what he needs in the moment. That means you're just a woman that just floats to the needs of a man, and it means that nobody's then paying attention to what you were born for. Y'all go check out my other podcast about a woman having a life before Adam. Eve had a life before Adam. Though the Bible doesn't describe what it was, if God put Adam to sleep and made Eve over here, dropping my coffee, excuse me, or made Eve a life, right? Or that means that he made her into a living soul just like Adam. And I believe there's a conversation on her way to meet Adam. I believe God had a conversation with his daughter Eve, right? So how would she know then that Adam was the right one? Well, it was because she was prepared for him. And when they met each other, they saw that I am the missing link to your need, not your love. Check this. Are you, when you meet a man, or even if you're married in your relationship, am I meeting a need? Am I then a necessity to you? See, ladies, in order for you to be unforgettable to a man, you must become a necessity to a man. And I'm going to tell you right now, having X with him don't make you a necessity, because every woman got what you got. This brother now, don't get mad at me now. This is brother talking. Every woman has what you have physically. So don't ever believe that that's enough to keep a man. You have to look for accountability or you will sell yourself short, sis. Let me see. Let me get back in the chat and then let me see. Okay. Lucy, I love and like my husband. Yes. See, like. That's key. Love that. I love and like my husband. We are besties. Yes. If I didn't like him, I think I would be now because I don't like everything. Love covers that part. Brilliant. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I left out. I would be. Okay. I felt you. I got you. You would be. Yes, absolutely. Let me see. A man's vision may be different from his partner. Well, see, this is the thing. No, Gordon. I'm glad you in here. No. In marriage, you can't be walking out 2 different visions. That's not the point. The point of marriage is to complete a vision together. A couple with 2 different visions for life will not make it. Believe me. Let me see. That's a real good point. I must be a necessity. Yes, you must be a necessity, or otherwise, what are you there for? You just exist. Again, you just exist to float on a man's needs. And I'm sure a lot of you sisters have been there before where you're trying to find your place in a man's life, but he keeps on switching that position, right? Let me see. Oh, okay. I got you, Gordon. I got you. Okay. I got you now. Okay. All right. So let's get back into this thing, right? So compatibility, all right? Again, I'm gonna repeat them. Compatibility over love, because love will make you miss values, vision, emotional understanding, life habits, and growth plan. Life will make you miss all that. Love will make you miss all that, but compatibility will make you slow enough. See, this is the thing, sisters. You got to slow your pace down enough, right? Especially some of you sisters that have been single a long time and you just want a companionship, right? Now, let me say this. There's a difference, ladies, between company and companionship. There's a difference between company and companionship. You got to realize this. When you are tired of Friday nights alone, sisters, when you're tired of Friday nights alone, there's a difference between company and companionship. You got to realize that sometimes it's better to be alone than to just have company. Right? You need more than company, sisters. You need companionship. Again, let's look at this. Number one, the allure of love versus the reality of companionship. The allure, love is just an allure. Oh my God, right? It's that feeling of just meeting. Oh my God, right? And that's not to say that feeling is fake. That feeling is not fake. But what you must realize is that the allure of love cannot make you throw away the reality of the need for compatibility. I'm sorry, not companionship, compatibility. Compatibility means that we can work. Love means that we might have to survive each other. You know how many toxic relationships exist and they love each other? Compatibility will move the toxicity. Love will let it exist. Because you know what love does? Love just looks for a moment. Love just looks for a moment, a feeling. Oh, right? He loves me, a date. Oh, right? He gave me a great night. Oh, my goodness, he took me here. He did. See, that doesn't last, because your life can't be a life of going out. You must sit with a person, get to know their ideas, get to see what's on their mind, get to see what's driving them. And that's when you find out that that man might be a nice man, but he's not the man for you, because you have love, but you don't have compatibility. Now, I know some of you will say, Christian, now look, I found a man that loved me. What I'm supposed to do? Walk away because there's no compatibility. What you're going to do is you're going to fall so deep in love that now you got a child, now you got money together, now you got responsibilities tied in with somebody that you only have love for, but no compatibility, right? Love feels like enough in the beginning. It always feels like enough, especially when you've been on an emotional desert. Love will always feel like enough, sis. And you got a master man. He'll walk in and definitely, it don't take much when you've had a desert of intimacy in your life where nobody has told you anything great about yourself. It's easy, right? This is why you got to guard yourself, sisters. You got to guard yourself, especially when you've been in an intimate desert, right? When there's been no conversation and no support and no celebration of yourself. You have to that's when you should most be on your job looking at if a man is compatible. Because when you're empty, love always seems like enough, but it's not enough to last. Let me see who's in the chat. All right. Okay. Lisa, real talk. Yes, I'm trying, sis. Let me see. Tamika's responding 100%. No woman desires to be a man's option. Absolutely not. A man has to know the purpose his woman has in his life. He must know that. He must know that. Otherwise, sis, if he can't, if that's not there, listen, sis, let me tell you this. If you're dating a man for any significant amount of time and you have to ask them, what are we? You're nothing. Yeah. If you've been dating a man 6-8 months and you have to ask him, what are we? You are nothing to him. Okay. The issue, let me throw this in because I think a lot of you ladies start to want to know who you are with a man too early. And that's where you get in trouble. Oh God, I'm your brother. Don't get mad at me. Right. I don't want nothing from you. I'm your brother. Don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you truth. A lot of you sisters want to lock in so early with a man that you're not even looking for compatibility. And you ask too early, well, what are we? Well, we can't be anything. Because let me say this to you ladies. A man is also choosing you. Now I'm going to get in trouble. Now, and now I'm gonna get in trouble. I know it. But I'm not here for trouble. I'm here because I'm your brother. Right? A lot of you want to lock into early. You're trying to force a man into something you want. And if you realize that man don't want that, then you have to go. But you also have to realize that you can't lock a man down because you've been lonely. A man is choosing you as well. He has a right to get to know you just as much as you have a right to get to know him. I don't think a lot of you sisters realize that, because here's the truth. This is where you get mad at me. A lot of you believe that you are just a prize for any man. And that's not true. You might be the prize for some men, but you might not be the prize for him. Right? You also have to show and prove, just like you're looking for that man to show and prove. That's fair to a relationship. And this is why some men will ghost you, because you are trying to lock in with him and not allowing him to know who he's locking in with. Oh, goodness gracious. Let me see. Wow, that's good. Love looks for a moment. Yes, that's all love looks for. Tashana, hey, sister. Thanks for coming through. Let me see. I love how y'all having conversation in the chat. Absolutely right. And as a woman, we have to resolve not to settle and allow ourselves to be an option. Let me ask you this, sisters. Let's get honest. Let's get real. Let's get real with brother today, right? Why is it that you guys settle, right? As women, we have to resolve not to settle. Okay, I hear a lot of those questions when women say, I'm not refused. Usually when a woman says, I refuse to settle, that's coming from a place where she's settled before. My question to you ladies is, why do you settle? Let's talk about it. You will just be tolerated. Yes, that's a tough place for a woman to be. Just be tolerated. Absolutely. This is so true. Listen, sis, that's why I started this podcast. Talk, Bishop. This is extremely good. I'm trying to, sister. Let's get into it. Men are conditioned to give and don't know how to receive. Yes. Now, some men, Gord, some men, Big Gord, some of these clowns out here are conditioned to take, right? So you got, I'm snorting. Y'all got me snorting. See, Gordon, you got to realize when you talk or me talk or some other real men talk, we'll talk about the condition of men. What our sisters are out here facing, they're not meeting men with my mentality or your mentality. A lot of these sisters are meeting men. They come to take from the rip. That's what their whole thing is there for. And whether it's X, whether it's money, whether it's a place to stay, that's what they're in the game for. And so we got to really help our brothers listen to my podcast from this morning of men confronting men, right? And when we confront men, then we'll have better men for our sisters. Let me see. Ooh, Chantel and Shakia, as women, we need to be accountable for what we allow. Yes. And to your point, Chantel, the opposite of tolerance is intolerance. That equals hell on earth. Absolutely. Absolutely. But why do you guys settle? What is that? What is that in there? Right? Let's talk about it. Because again, this is another thing, ladies, and this is just from brother. What I'm finding from being online now, as much as I'm online talking to men and women, I just got confronted today. Let me read it to y'all. Let me see. Let me tell y'all what some guy said to me on TikTok. Yo, listen to this. Let me see. I'm trying to find it. Okay. So I don't know if y'all can hear this. Yes, y'all can hear this. I want y'all to hear this. Listen. I had to straighten my girl out. Hold on. When somebody. All right, listen. You can't joke with your man about how he pop his girl in the mouth. You can't joke with your man about, I had to straighten my girl out the other day, man. Yeah, she just got too loud. I popped in the mouth. Ha, ha, ha. Come on, bro. What are you talking about? How can you sit there with a man and tell you, look, I smacked my wife in the mouth? And you're like, hey, bro, sometimes you gotta do what? See, these are the things I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about the venting side. All of us men vent. I'm talking about when you're about to watch your brother destroy his family, when you're about to watch your brother destroy himself, and you refuse to confront him about anything. Why, as men, do we allow each other to walk in that level of ignorance? Because, again, you're part of the weakness of society. You shut your mouth as a man. You can't joke with Let's your watch man it again. About how you pop his girl in the mouth. You can't joke with your man about, I had to straighten my girl out the other day, man. Yeah, she just got too loud. I popped in the mouth. Ha, ha, ha. Come on, bro. What are you talking about? How can you sit there with a man and tell you, look, I smacked my wife in the mouth? And you're like, hey, bro, sometimes you gotta do what? See, these are the things I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about the venting side. All of us men vent. I'm talking about when you're about to watch your brother destroy his family, when you're about to watch your brother destroy himself, and you refuse to confront him about anything. Why, as men, do we allow each other to walk in that level of ignorance? Because, again, you're part of the weakness of society. You shut your mouth as a man. You can't joke with your man about how you got this girl in the mouth. You can't. Now, I want y'all to this comment. This is what I'm talking about. This is what a man commented to me today on TikTok about this video about men confronting men. Here we go. This is what he said. I do not agree. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Every man can do what he wants with his woman. Mind your business. Soft guys like you are the reason why women are smuts. Y'all feel me? Now look, this is what I love about this community on TikTok. Guess what the men on my TikTok start doing? They start confronting him. Bingo. Look what a man said. Would you feel the same if it was your sister, your daughter? Would you be okay with their spouse hitting them? Dude, it's in the scriptures to discipline. And here it is. Here's his response. Dude, it's in the scriptures to discipline a woman. And when you correct a child, the difference is when you correct. There's no difference in correcting a woman. None. They both are under your command. Now y'all see love. Now y'all see compatibility is way more efficient than love. Because I'm sure this cat is married. Right? It's all about, he said, it's all about you. If that's what, I don't even know what this cat is saying. You, sir, cannot tell a man on, he's talking to another guy in the chat. You, sir, cannot tell a man how he should do it. That's his business. You should mind your business. Here's another guy. He says, because it's not our business and we don't know everything pertaining to the altercation and their situation. I've been there, helped, spoke up, and some for her to go back and forth in a sparring match. You see what I'm saying? Now, again, that's not all the men on the podcast, but y'all hear that? That's how men confront me for telling them the truth, right? And the problem is a lot of you are falling in love with these type of cats. Why? Because you can't see whether you're compatible. You're just falling for the love. And then you find out you're married to an asshole. Let me see. My man Twine, I'm trying, good brother. I'm trying to help my sisters as a real man. Right? Let me see. Okay, that was my question earlier. Thank you, Shakia. I asked why a lot of women settle. Low self-esteem, not knowing who I really am and believing it. Yes, that's why I started the Dear Sister podcast. Again, I only started this podcast because I needed to talk to my sisters with nothing in return. See, this is the problem. Women, understand this. The first man in your life who's supposed to give, and take nothing away from you is your father. That's the first man you have in your life that's going to come in your life and give you everything, give you advice, wisdom, gifts, and everything, and don't require anything from you. A lot of you sisters didn't have fathers or didn't have a man around you who would give without the need for exchange. So some of you you feel like it has to be an exchange between a man. It doesn't. It doesn't. And again, that's the reason I started the Dear Brother podcast, was to let some of you sisters know that this is what it feels like. I'll be your brother. I don't want nothing from you, sis. I want you to know who you are, how you are. In fact, go on YouTube right now, sisters. Go on the Dear Sister podcast. If you're on Facebook right now, go over to YouTube, the Dear Sister podcast, and subscribe. Hit the like button, because I'm telling you, this is what I'm doing for the ladies. And commercial break tomorrow. 6 a.m. I'm gathering all the men and all the women on 2 streams together, and I will be talking about women's feelings about the election and what happened tomorrow morning. Be on there. Christian, that's early. So what? Get on there. Let's talk. Talk to your brothers about how y'all feel and let us respond. Nurisha Liggins, good morning, my sister. Hey, everybody, if you're on Facebook, you need to go follow Nurisha Liggins. She has a brilliant consulting company. She is lifting up lives. She's out of Dallas, Texas. She will meet with you virtually. She's brilliant. Go follow her. Let me see. Tamika Cox, my old lady. Women settle because her first boyfriend told her nobody else would want her. Ooh. Okay. Therefore, she finds a man that'll give her crumbs. She settles because that's all she's been led to believe. Okay. So that means that you sisters need a new word in your life. Go over to YouTube, y'all. I ain't saying right now. I'm not going to cut Facebook off. We're going to keep rolling. But go over to YouTube. I did a video on Eve's life before Adam. Go check it out. You have a life before Adam. You had a life before your husband. You had a life before your kids. You had a life before all your duties. Many of you ladies are so stuck in your duties that you've lost your purpose. Go check out that podcast I did. You had a life before Adam. You had a life with God, and God was telling you who you are. Right now, I'll give it to you right here. This was the first wedding. Stay with me. This was the first wedding, Adam and Eve, right? And when God put Adam to sleep, I'm going to throw this in. Don't ever be with a man who can't be put to sleep. When Adam was put to sleep, that was a sign of his humility to God. If you're dealing with a man that can never be humble, you are in for a hellish situation. Adam was put to sleep. Right? And God took from him the bone, right? From his side, right? I should talk about bone placement. Should I talk about bone placement? Y'all with that? All right, we'll talk about bone placement for a minute. He took Eve out of Adam's side. He did not take her from his ass bone. Okay, so there's no such thing as behind every good man is a good woman, because if you are behind a man, that means you're made from the bone of his ass. You're made from the bone of his side. That means you're beside him. That's your position. Also, ladies, God did not make you out of his head bone. That means that you need to stop trying to lead your husband. Okay? He took her from the side that protected all of his major organs. She's the protector of that man's heart, of his ability. She's the protector of his system. It allows him to flow, okay? But when God took her away from Adam, God then did the same thing with her. He took that bone. He molded her. He shaped her for what she would need to be and how she would need to do it. Now, I believe there was a moment while he shaped her that he also talked to her. I believe there was a moment that he breathed into her the Ruach HaKodesh, or the breath of God, just like Adam, and she became also living nephesh, living soul. And I believe that the walk down the aisle, I believe that God took Eve's hand and walked her down the aisle to Adam. There was a conversation that had to happen on that journey with God, so she would know who to be once she met him. Let me tell you something, sisters. If you don't have a relationship with God, a father, you don't have a relationship with a natural father, you won't know what to be on your way down the aisle. Well, Christian, I ain't got no dad. I don't got none of that. Well, you got a brother now. Go subscribe on the Dear Sister podcast. I'm riding with you. Let me see. Wow. Oh, thanks. Okay. Let me see. My brother, I love you so much, man. I love you back, bro. I love you back. So y'all see what I'm saying? That's insane. Wow. You see, this is what I'm saying, ladies. This is not the first attack that a man has made on me. I've been called all kinds of names, right? And this is the thing. This is the weakness of men. I'm on a male podcast talking to men, and you have men confronting me about why I'm not confronting women. What? We're on the Dear Brother podcast talking to men, and you're mad because I won't confront women. The weakness of men. That's why y'all go check out my other podcast. You brothers that are in this room, sneaking in, seeing what I'm talking to the sisters about, go to the Dear Brother podcast. Subscribe and share. But I did a podcast this morning about men confronting men's weakness. You need to hear it. Yes, nobody's there to confront him. Let me see. People be pretending though. Yeah, Nia, people do pretending, but guess what? That's why you have to slow your pace down, right? Ladies, you slow your pace down and stop falling in love so bad, you'll get past the pretending. Oh, I met his representative. No, you wanted his representative, sis. Oh, now brother talking. Come on. That's what a lot of y'all say. Oh, he showed me his representative. No. You wanted his representative because you didn't take time. You didn't love yourself enough to make him talk more. Let me see. And by the time y'all talk, usually for a lot of you sisters, by the time y'all talk, he done touched you. So game over. You're emotionally tied. This is true. Compatibility is everything. I tried to force it with my ex. We were totally incompatible and it didn't work. No amount of force will make it work. Absolutely. Let me see. John, I love you too, my main man out of Dallas, my man, John. I love you too, big brother. You're my guy. Miracles on the way, my man. Let me see. I'm going to tell my students at Eastern about you. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Lisa. I appreciate that so much. Let me see. Yes, ladies. You were not made out of his ass bone. So don't let a man sit on you. But don't forget, you were also not made out of his skull bone, so don't try to control his thoughts. Let me see. Real talk, men don't want to be led by a woman. No, he wants to be nurtured. A man wants her nurturing. Listen, you can help a man change his mind, but you can't change his mind. I'm trying to teach my sweet dear. Let me see. This is good wisdom. Definitely been watching it. Oh, man. Thank you, man. See? Right? And some of y'all that know me from the church world, all I did was take my pulpit outside. So tell all them church people, stop hating on me. Because they want to keep on doing the same thing, celebrating anniversaries, about preaching to the same people about the same messages. I bought my pulpit outside and I talk to the world now. I talk to every race. I talk to every religion. I talk to every kind, just like Jesus did. So tell all them church people, stop hating on me because they scared to do what I did. Don't hate on the man where you don't have the feet to walk in the places he does. Y'all go tell that. Let me see. Yes, slow the pace down. Yes, sis. Stop moving with your feelings. Yes. So once you touch, you get emotionally tied. How is that? How true is that? Absolutely. It's very true. Yeah. Once you let a man touch you in an intimate way, sis, you're tied. You automatically you get big black sunglasses when you can't see no more. Once a man moves you intimately, it's hard then to get your emotions to catch up with where you are intimately. That's why a lot of you sisters wind up with babies and then realize you're not even in love with the guy you're making a baby for. You see what I'm saying? You got to slow down, sisters. Can you all help me with something? Is it wrong of me to look for a return from a family through obedience to serve them? All right, help that brother out. Let me see. Let me put it back up. Can you all help me with something? Okay. Is it wrong of me to look for a return from a family through obedience to serve them? I'll throw this in and some other people can help too. You got to realize that when you put your help out there as a man, you don't look for a return as a man. That's the thing. That's the thing we got to stop doing. I think men who love a lot, like I love a lot, and sometimes I look for a return on that. It's just like a man. I don't want to turn this into a man's podcast, but a man is not the roof of a house. He's the foundation. So you got to understand this, gentlemen that are in here. When the scripture says be the head of the house is not the roof. The roof can be blown off by the wind. The head of the house means you're the basement. You're the most ignored. People just throw stuff in the basement, right? Some people have finished basements, even finished basements. People just throw stuff down there. They use it for storage. But guess what? Even though the basement is the most ignored space in the house, let the basement shift, the whole house gonna fall down. So being the head means being the head of something means being the bottom of something. And for some of you spiritual people, even if some pastors on here, let me say something to you. Leading, you know how you lead sheep? I was in Israel and I was watching some shepherds lead sheep. None of the shepherds were in front of their sheep. All the shepherds were behind their sheep. And they keep the sheep in a V like this so that they can see, so that the sheep are in their peripheral vision. Shepherds lead from behind, not in front. If you lead from in front as a shepherd, who's going to protect the sheep behind you? See, some of y'all don't understand leadership. Leaders lead from behind. And some of y'all don't want to lead from behind because you're scared to get bit by the wolf, so you'll let your people get bit. But that's for a whole nother podcast. Let me see. Some women settle because they are thirsty and dehydrated. Ooh, yes. I believe when they drink from the living word, we can discern the difference between a drink that can hydrate us opposed to one that will do. Brilliant. Great point, Denise. Great point. Let me read that again. Some y'all eat off of this, y'all. Some people settle because they are thirsty and dehydrated. I believe we drink from the living word. We can discern the difference between a drink that can hydrate us opposed to one that would dehydrate us. My goodness. I think, Denise, that there are hundreds and hundreds of dehydrated women out here right now. Let me see. Joe Garrett, I love you too, my brother. Hey, Joe, make sure you go subscribe for the Dear Brother podcast on YouTube. Let me see. Tamika to Cherie, facts, slow the pace down. Yes, physical intimacy clouds a woman's judgment. It doesn't just cloud it. It could put a whole black sheet over her whole body. She don't even know where she going. Let me see. Yes, thanks for your obedience. It's definitely needed. I'm trying, y'all. Let me see. Lifeline. We appreciate you. I appreciate y'all too. This is brilliant. I got this is why I'm celibate, okay? I'm trying to talk to my students about celibacy, My sentiment is you better watch who you connect with, and even more important, who you procreate with. Yes, if you are not compatible, it turns into a nightmare. Yeah, I don't care how much in love you are. I don't care how much in love you are, sis. Y'all been in love. The thing about this, what I'm teaching today, is that all of y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm just showing you the road out from a man's perspective. Let me see. Absolutely, I'm cutting up today. That's why I got to get out of here. Let me see. Daryl Carolina, definitely always been the same, man. Making more impact this way. The church likes to lock this wisdom truth up. Yes, they do, because a lot of church people church people like to hoard truth instead of sharing it. That's why the church loves to have church services instead of walking out the Great Commission. If you want more of me talking about the church, I got a third podcast. I'm insane. Go visit the Christian Activist podcast on YouTube. If you want to hear me talk about the position of the church and where the church should go, it's on the Christian Activist podcast on YouTube. Okay, let me see. Replying to Denise Wortham. Yes, wow, that was a brilliant point, Denise. Let me go find Denise's statement and put it back up, because shoot. Let me read it again. Rewind. Some women settle because they are thirsty and dehydrated. I believe we drink from the living word. We can discern the difference between a drink that can hydrate us and a drink that would dehydrate us. Some of these dudes y'all been dating ain't nothing but soda. He's killing you. Let me see. Mind blown. Okay, let's keep getting it. Let's keep getting it, y'all. Before I gotta go. Let me see. Denise, another sister bigging you up. That was good. Thank you for help. Thank you for feeding. This thing ain't just about me, y'all. It's about feeding. Lifeline. I believe that men and women the same should have vision for their personal lives. We are looking for relationships, but our broken vision is wholeness. Now, this is the thing about vision, men and women having vision for their lives. Those visions should line up at some point. If you're with a person, let me tell y'all something. You can meet a man that has a brilliant vision, and you can have a brilliant vision. If y'all are always on a different vision, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Now, and listen, sisters, because I know y'all start itching when you hear men say stuff like this. What I'm saying is, you can have a vision for your life. The person I'm dating has a vision for her life. But guess what? Without us even talking about it, those visions start to align. They start to make sense. They start to align. When you're with somebody, right? You can have two visions, but then they align. Understand this. When God puts two people together, their visions align. If you're fighting for your own vision, you are going to destroy your relationship. Let me see. The wrong Negro will drag, drain, and dehydrate. Absolutely. Absolutely. But this is the question, my dear sisters. Why are y'all so easily to submit to that wrong guy? Now, we talked about it a little bit, but listen, even if y'all tell me why, you got to take responsibility. You got to take accountability, and you got to start to shave off the things in your life that allow men like that. Because let me tell you something, ladies, you may or may not know it. You probably don't know it. A man can walk in a room and pick out the weakest, most vulnerable woman who will let him do anything to her. He will spot you. I'm telling you right now. So it's something in you that gives off that. And you got to check what that is and stop blaming men for that, okay? How can two walk together unless they agree? Absolutely. Let me see. All right. Denise, we should learn to become elite decision makers. Yes, ladies, when it comes to deciding rather or not a person is someone that we should walk in love with. Yes, don't fall in love. You better walk. Don't fall in love. I told y'all that. Don't fall in love. If you walk in it and it don't work out, you can walk out. If you fall in love, you got to dig your way out and climb your way out. Let me see. All right. How long we been on here? Oh, goodness. We've been 45 minutes. All right. Let me run through these, y'all. All right. So number one, we dealt with the allure of love versus compatibility. All right. So love is not enough, right? Compatibility this is the thing I want y'all to know. Compatibility creates love. You don't have to trade one for the other. Compatibility creates love. Adam and Eve were not in love, but when they were in that garden and they joined, and Adam started talking about what he had done in the garden, and Eve starts saying, this is what else you can do in the garden. That's when love comes. Agreement on the garden. My God. Agreement on the garden produces love. They didn't fight in the garden. They talked in the garden, and then they fell in love in the garden because of the ability to be compatible. God made Eve compatible with Adam. He did not make her love him. That love produces because compatibility deepens love. It finds the most genuine part of love. That's the gift of compatibility, right? Let me see. And then some of you who deal with trust issues, you know how you find trust? You find trust through conversation. You find trust. Let me go back to the definition of compatibility because I need y'all to know it. It's 5 things you should be looking for when it comes to compatibility. Values. What does he value? What doesn't he value? Vision. Does he have a vision at all? And is that vision going to take the family anywhere? Number 3, emotional understanding. If the man has no emotional understanding, then you can't be compatible. Or if you have no emotional understanding, right? If you have no emotional understanding, sis, you got to really start looking within yourself, because if you get with a man, all of you want a man that's emotionally intelligent. But what happens when his emotional intelligence is too much for you? Be careful what you pray for, or let me say better, be ready for what you pray for, because some women meet the man of their dreams, all to find out they haven't conditioned themselves for that dream. Okay, let's get into it. Number 3, love is a feeling. Compatibility is foundation. Love is a feeling. Compatibility is foundation, right? Love can fluctuate like we talked before, but compatibility is the bedrock for a relationship. Number 4, how to recognize compatibility. We talked about it. Shared values, aligned ambitions, right? Right? Personality traits. There may be something in a guy's personality that just won't jive right with you, right? You got to remember that love is this. Love is connection. Compatibility is this. You understand? Love is this. Compatibility is this. Number 5, building a relationship that lasts. Right? Building a relationship that lasts requires both love, compatibility, and the third one, commitment. Right? Building a lasting relationship requires love, accountability, and commitment. Now, let me finish here. Compatibility, if you understand this, it helps your choices, sisters. Right? Where you'll foster a relationship that matters to the core of you and not just the loneliness in you. Don't build a relationship when you're lonely. Don't go to the market when you're hungry. You'll eat anything, including dog food. Okay. Marcia Moore, agreement in the garden. Absolutely. It has to be agreement in the garden. Absolutely. Let me see. Yes, Tashawn, I'm glad you're on here. All you ladies that's on Facebook, make sure after we get off of here, y'all go over to YouTube. Subscribe to the Dear Sister podcast and hit that like button on this video. It lets other sisters know that, hey, this guy is saying something good for his sisters. YouTube will send more people, more sisters to the site when they see that you sisters are seeing what I'm saying out here. Let me see. Conversation leads to understanding, producing trust. Absolutely. Absolutely. Compatibility creates and deepens love. Yes. Just like you build a house on a basement. You don't see a house without a foundation, right? Whether that house has a whole basement or whether that house has a foundation, it has something to build on. Not just hopes and dreams. Not just I hope one day that Jeffrey is going to become a lover boy. Jeffrey ain't going to become a lover boy. He didn't hold your hand in the beginning of the relationship. He's not going to do it now. You understand? Stop waiting on things that are not going to happen, sis, because love is not enough. Let me see. All right. All right. Let me review these again and then I'll go. This podcast today was called Love is Not Enough, right? The difference between compatibility and love. Number one, the allure of love versus compatibility. You got to know the difference. Number two, compatibility creates love, not the other way around. Number three, love as a feeling is different than compatibility as a foundation. Number four, how to recognize compatibility, share values, aligned ambitions, right? Production of vision. That's what makes compatibility. Number five, building a relationship that lasts takes three things: love, compatibility, and commitment. But the whole thing got to be based on compatibility. Who are we? Who are you? Before I can say I love you, who the heck are you? Slow your pace down, sisters. Don't let love take you. You take love. Let me see. All right. All right, Tamika Cox is out there. She said, it was great chatting you later. I got a host of me. She's at work listening to the podcast. I'm sure some of you are too. Hey, ladies, remember tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., I'm having a stream for both men and women. The Dear Sister podcast, the Dear Brother podcast are coming together. And tomorrow I'm listening to the hearts of my sisters about this election. All opinions. I'm listening to it. Where you are. I think that men need to sit down and hear out what just happened. This was a major event, right? I'm not a political podcast. I don't deal with political podcasts. I don't choose sides, okay? I don't get into that because I realize that my wavelength is way higher than who's going to be president. My purpose in life is way different than who's going to be president. I got a job to do no matter who sits in that seat. In fact, I have a bigger job to do now, right? But you got to understand, everybody, that you need to be heard. A lot of you sisters need to be heard. Tomorrow, 6 a.m., I'll be on both streams, brothers and Dear Brother and Dear Sister podcast, and we will discuss your feelings about the election, how you feel about the future of the country. I want to hear you out. I want to talk to you. I also want to share the male perspective on why some men made the choices they did. It's a free, open conversation, full of love, no debate, just understanding. Hey, y'all got to remember this, sisters. Always know, and always be very sure. Always be very sure of what you're worth. You're worth it to me. You hear me? Dear sisters, please remember your worth and always remember this. No fear, no shame, no compromise. I love y'all. See y'all tomorrow morning. I'm out. Oh, wait a minute. Go buy my book. Go buy my book for y'all go. Soul of Sarah. Go get it. It's on Amazon right now. $15 on Amazon. I wrote this book after I eulogized my mother. Go get this book, ladies and gentlemen. Go get this book. You're a guy who got a wife or girlfriend. Go get this book for her on Amazon.com right now. The Soul of Sarah. All right. And for you gentlemen who don't have my book for men yet, go get it. It's right there on the same platform. Go get these books. People have been buying them in packages. Husbands been buying them for wives. Wives been buying for husbands. Go on Amazon right now. Grab these 2 books. Hey, y'all, I got to go. Y'all are dope.